here and we are recording. Now all I have to do is find a song to play in the background. Can I pick that up? Okay, it's not picking it up. That's pretty good. Hopefully I don't get fucking copyrighted again. So this is gonna be like maybe 40 minutes, hopefully. 40 minutes to an hour. I've been lagging doing one of these for a while. I haven't done one in like months. Anyways, today is January 2020, um the 9th, I believe. The 7th. So 7th, 2020, January, first month. Música maestro. Okay, we're just gonna find the F. Can't see what I'm doing because it's on a different monitor. Monitor FKJ piano. Here we go. Okay. No. That's live. That's shit. That's out here. There we go. See if we can pick it up. Okay, it's picking it up. How many decibels is it? It's around. Probably have to put it a little lower than that. Let me just fix my headset. I think this is actually, if I force myself to do this in this manner, I think we'll be fine. I think it's good to have some sort of, what is it, journal in whatever format it is. I think that is, I think that's pretty good. Yeah, it's more than double. Let me change this. Fuck. So what happens with these little podcasts, I guess, self podcasts, I call them Google podcasts, is where I just basically go on Google Earth and fuck around for I would say an hour. Alexa, set a timer for 45 minutes.
45 minutes, starting now.
Okay, that was ear rape. I guess 45 minutes now. I'm just looking at the audio input right now. Hopefully it's not ear rape. And yeah, so I just look, I don't know, and I just talk. Anything that comes to my head, and I maybe talk about shit that happens today, or whatever comes into my head. I just feel like it's a good form of maybe like going back and seeing something that I talked about, or how it's basically a fucking journal. It's basically a journal. That's all it is. And mainly the thought of making these is triggered by let me turn on side tone so I can hear how loud I'm being. Testing. There we go. These are really triggered by me whenever I go on a rant, which is often. But I feel like I'm too deep into a rant, and it'd be very unnatural and unorganic to, start one of these so-and-so podcasts where I can go on the rant. But I think what I need to start doing is when I do go on a rant, I should realize that I'm going on a rant and acknowledge that I was going on a rant, and I'm not going to restart the rant like it's some sort of natural thing that is barely happening, because it's not, and I don't want to force it to be that. But I was just talking about this one was, I figured I should probably do one now, because if I don't do one now, I'm not going to do one ever again. And I should do one as they're not in my head, so that I can again go back and listen to them, or see my thought process in this current time. I am 22 years old right now, so that's something I should keep in mind, just in case I ever come back and try to look at these, when I'm 30 years old or something. I guess I should just talk about what I have going on in my life currently. And again, these are going to be probably personal, a little bit more intimate with myself. I don't know if I used that right, the word right, but whatever. These are going to be personal. So I'm just going to talk like I was talking to because I talk to myself a fucking lot. And I just want to record these. All I have. And I think I should start with saying, okay, let's backtrack a little bit. What basically triggered this one, I was just talking to myself about, the path that I've taken or am on currently. I was talking about how I didn't really want to be pigeonholed to like my identity in high school, because in high school I was the kind of gym guy, which I thought that thought process was bullshit. And thinking in the manner that I am is just a convenience for me to kind of propel me in the direction that I am now. Because back then I didn't, I thought I was going to be lifting weights or something for a very long time. Maybe till, till I couldn't anymore. But I was talking about how I kind of realized that my desire to lift or to compete in bodybuilding, I mean, there was a couple of factors to that, but I think the main one was when I started kind of envying people who are more on the intellectual side rather than someone who's more physically dominant than I was. And I was talking to myself, and I said, I realized this around junior year of high school, which was probably 2014. I was 16 or 15 years of age, most likely 16. And that's when I realized, like, there's a good chance that I'm probably not going to be doing this for the rest of my life. For a couple of reasons. Life, that's the first one, right? Should just go south. And you might not have time to do it anymore, especially if you work in a very physically demanding and tedious job, which is really the only job that I've had since I was 15. So it's like right now I am unemployed and I'm looking for work in the city. And hopefully you guys can hear that. It's just me flaring some cards, deck of cards. So I am looking for work in the city, and it's been difficult because I really don't have any references and anybody to like really give a number for them to call someone up, because most of the people that I've worked with only speak Spanish, or I've been given the job just because someone in my family knows them, and I just show up one day and I'm working, and I make no effort to make a relationship with the supervisor or the manager. So I get no numbers, I get nothing, and it's really difficult to find a job in inner city. And I believe that's why a lot of people get like kind of trapped in that blue collared lifestyle, mainly like in the field. Obviously a lot of it is it's like a, how do you say, it's not a cultural thing, but it's a lot of the same ethnic background that work, and you get stuck in that I guess job because you have no other kind of connections anywhere else besides the fields where you can, or agriculture, where you can just kind of show up one day and start working. Whereas in like the social structure of the inner city, I guess it's built differently. First you have to apply, maybe show them a resume, they make an appointment for an interview, then you go interview, and then they decide if they want to hire you or not. And so it's a longer process. And talking about this, because I didn't know you had to apply for a shit ton of fucking jobs before you get a fucking job. I've only applied to like, let's say anywhere between 20 or 30 in the last like, I don't know, a couple of months. There was this guy who posted a Reddit post on Reddit, obviously, about his job hunting statistics, and it showed how he applied for 76 jobs, and out of the 76 he got accepted to one. He got like 16 call back. So like that is opening my head right now. It is opening my head. as to how much more tedious I have to fucking grind and kind of make some bullshit you know references up of people who I've worked with, who I have very minimal relationship with, and hoping that the person who's hiring is in desperado mode and needs someone to fucking hire, so that they really don't give a shit about the references, etc. I don't even know how I got to this point. I was talking about lifting and how I knew I wasn't gonna do that because I started envying people on the intellectual side more than, and then I stopped. Okay, so then I stopped lifting for between, I think after high school I stopped lifting for like a year, and then it hasn't, and then I started kind of running here and there, but I haven't taken it seriously until maybe the summer of 2018. And even then it was relative to you know, before 2018, it was taken seriously, but not really. Like we're talking about like 3 times a month, something like that, whereas currently I'm doing it like almost every day if I can, because obviously I have no job. All I'm doing for fun is I just finished a tropical mix where I found that we're really inspired by this sound sample of a saxophone. Someone was playing saxophone and I liked how it sounded, and I said I think I want to make a song with that. And then I found some vocals on Splice, just paid, I don't know, a really small fee, and I started working on it, and I've probably taken about a month to finish the structure of the song and the mixing. And this is actually only 4 months into mixing, like seriously or making music seriously on FL Studios. And all I have left is to master the track, and I'm trying to do that by Thursday, which is why I confused today as the 9th and not the 7th. It was because it's gonna be the 9th on the Thursday, which is when I'm trying to finish it. And I think I want to upload it to YouTube, Spotify, and SoundCloud. And this will be my second mix in 4 months, after deciding that I should probably start grinding producing, because it is something I would like to do as for a living. Prior to that, I bought FL Studios 2018, the same summer I started running. Actually, it was like around the same time, and I started messing around with the DAW. What it stands for, digital audio something. And I started messing around with it, just making simple synthwave is the term for that genre, synthwave tracks, because I figured the structure was fairly easy, or at least easier than like more poppy music and just any other genre, so I could learn the basics of making the structure of a song. Like sequencing is what they call it too, which is where I struggle, I think, and I think most people struggle at that part. It's not so much kind of like sound design for me, or because I get satisfied with some like easy sounds, and then you just throw them in there and you just mess with the VST for a couple hours and find a sound that you like. I don't mind that. I find that entertaining. Then throw some VST or some effect plugins in there, you get a better sound. So that's what I've been doing in the last 4 or 5 months now, and I just finished my second track, and I'm actually pretty impressed with it, with the mixing rather. I'm pretty sure it's horrible compared to like professionals, but I think for 4 months it's pretty good. All I have to do, like I said, was master it, which is basically kind of the last step to finishing the song. And this is something I didn't even know prior to these 4 months. I didn't know nothing really about mixing or mastering, so that's one of the reasons why this one is taking so long, is because I'm actually trying to do everything correctly, which means mixing, with the mixing table, changing the faders, and understanding about the decibel levels that vary sound, and how you want some sounds to be in the background or some sounds to be more forward, and the vocals, you kind of want them to be in front of the music, and a little bit more stereo, um, uh, give him a little bit more width with the stereo, some stereo applications, and all these little nuances that people don't really think about making a track or something. I'm still kind of like in that. Well, I guess everyone has that. It's called the imposter. Is it? I don't think it's called. I think this is like the bro science way of identifying it. It's imposter syndrome, where it's like people just think um, that when they excel in something, they think that they're just kind of fooling people. They don't think that they actually excel at something. That they just think that people are kind of buying their bullshit, and I'm kind of feeling that because like I'm kind of impressed. I'm like, okay, like how much of this song was actually me? Because I did use like 2 samples. Like everything else was kind of me. Obviously, I didn't make up the genre, but really, no one really, does. And the people that do, they get rewarded for it mainly, or people who make it popular get rewarded. We're talking about like Kygo when it comes to tropical. We're talking about Skrillex when it comes to, I don't know, his kind of take on like dubstep or that aggressive electric music. We're talking about these guys who kind of, or like for me, my favorite kind of producer, or my favorite producer is ZHU, and I just love his sound, and he has his own style or his own sound. Or I'm talking about Blaze, the Territory, that type of music where you kind of need to implement videography or cinematography, whatever you want to call it, to the song to kind of, I feel like, to make it successful. I feel like if that song didn't have that story behind it, with that cinematography and everything, and the script of the shots they wanted to take and how they wanted to take it, I didn't think it would have been as successful. But it's a pretty good song. I don't think I would have been, like I'm saying, I don't think I would have been into it if I didn't see the video with the song, because the video does give it life, which is like a weird genre because it's obviously it's electric based, and it's very laid, like relaxing, and they implement sounds like in a weird chronological order where they just keep adding a new sound like every 4 bars or every 8 bars. And then the vocals, there's not exactly like a more of a poppy, there's not really that poppy structure to those vocals where there's like a chorus and then the verse and then the chorus and whatever, and it goes into a break or something. There's none of that. It's just, I think it is just the whole entire thing is a verse. It's like it's like singing, or it's like writing poetry and just putting in and implementing it into a song like a sound, is the way I kind of see it being. Which is that's one of the tracks that I'm actually working on after I just finished the tropical mix. It's not really a mix or a remix because, like I said, I didn't really base it on any other song rather than just a genre in itself, due to the sounds that it uses, which we're talking about like mallets and really kind of like fruity sounds, like kind of just because I can't think of a word, so just because I can't find an fruity, yeah, like kind of like light, bright sounds. It's not really dark, even though the song is in G minor or A minor. It's in A minor, so it's not really like a happy scale. But I kind of like the dynamics of like an upbeat song with like really bright sounds in a minor scale, because it gives it more dynamic, I feel. Or I realized that probably like 2 or a week into the song. I think it was just coincidence. I just wanted to do a minor scale. I think I wanted to try a minor scale, and I did it. And then I realized, look, this is pretty cool because it's upbeat, it's bright, but the scale is a minor, so it doesn't sound so bright. Oh yeah, talking about how and the imposter thing. So I'm thinking, like, am I an imposter, or how good am I delusional? how good is this mix or song? I should just call it song and not mix. How good is this song? Uh, I don't know. Is it actually pretty good? Is it good for 4 months? Is it good for someone who's been doing it for 5 years? Did I implement the vocals correctly? Did I like? Because one thing I did understand is like vocals make everything. I didn't like working with vocals prior to it because I just couldn't sing and I didn't really know about vocal sampling or just I felt like you were stealing someone's work if you stole the vocals. But the thing is that people put their vocals out there in the world so that you can use it for your own mixes. And that's why I call it mix, is because it's not my vocals, and I feel like the vocals is the heart and soul of the track. Um, but in reality, I think it'd be considered my song because I did make it, and I really didn't have any reference tracks other than the whole genre itself to work with. And yeah, kind of losing my thought process. So that's why like I'm getting that kind of imposter syndrome because I'm feeling like I didn't really make the song. Like I feel like it was just easy to make. Like everything was given to me and I just put everything together. But I don't know, cuz I came up with the chords and the chord patterns and I did a lot of the things. And I really had only like two main samples. I mean, drums and all this that has to be samples by default, or else I don't think they're gonna sound good. But everyone uses samples for their drums and the percussion and stuff. So I don't really count those as sample, even though they are samples. But the main one was just the saxophone, and I don't even use it a lot. Actually, I just use it for like somewhere in the intro, and then somewhere in like it would be right after the break or something, or in the build up. I think usually like in the build up. And yeah, so like I'm getting that imposter feeling because it's like I like how it sounds, and it sounds like, at least for me, it sounds pretty like professional, a lot better than a lot of producers who had the amount of time that I've had mixing, producing music. Oh yeah, I've been on this page for pretty like a while. I haven't done anything. So yeah, that's where I'm at with my life, right? That was the whole point of that fucking rant, was what I'm doing with my life right now, because I'm unemployed, so I'm making music right now, and I'm taking it seriously. I honestly, it's kind of embarrassing how long I think I took in that for that track. I think if I did the math and like was generous and just said 4 days, I worked in it for like 12 hours, because I think like minimum at least 6 days, basically a week, where I just stayed and just worked on it for like 12 hours, um, and this is like a month into it, like maybe like a month and a week into it. There definitely has to be it has to be north of 80 hours that I put into the track. And it's kind of intimidating to state that, because it's like if someone listens to it, it's like, oh, this is ass, and it's like, fuck, like it's ass, and I've put 80 fucking, more than 80, honestly. I think it's north of 100 hours. It's like I put more than 100 fucking hours into this fucking thing for someone to tell. But I mean, if that's the truth, then it's the truth, and I have to fucking do something about it, right? But at the same time, I'm just happy that I grinded it out and finished it, even with the amount of time that I did it with, because I learned a lot when it comes to mixing, sample selection, audio design, sound design. I learned a lot, and then I'm barely learning about mastering, and I get an idea of what it is, and I still have like another 48 hours to pretty much finish it. Yeah. Oh yeah, and then should have gone on a run today, but I woke up and I felt like ass. Um, the runs that I do right now, changing topics, whatever, I don't care. Um, it starts right here at this church. I used to be a member at this church. I used to run over here, up here. I think once or twice I started from the beginning. This is Hart Park. I started from the beginning and went all the way to here, and then went back, and then I think I finished. I couldn't run anymore around here somewhere. Like I just fell on one of these bushes and just kind of like slept for like 10 minutes, which was the there and back to there where I stopped is probably like 11 miles. I remember it being. My goal, it was so embarrassing. My goal is to run there and back and then do it twice to get 25 miles. It wasn't gonna happen. I think when I was doing that run, I was around just north of 250 pounds. And I'm not a really tall man, so I'm pretty fucking fat. Um, Even though like I do look like I've worked out before, but I think I averaged 210 pounds in high school mainly, and no one ever really called me fat. They always called me buff or something. So that's really what I'm only like 50 pounds over that, which is I don't think it's that hard to lose, honestly. And I'm taking it more seriously, and I think I've lost like 20 pounds in the last 2 weeks. So I think if I just keep doing that, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Yeah. So that kind of ties back into the lifting thing. So that's why I was talking about like it being a convenience to me now, and saying that I decided to not lift anymore because I was getting bored of it. But at the same time, I kind of stopped because I did get burnt out, but it wasn't. And I did start envying intellectuals more than physical people, which I think is one of the reasons or one of the contributions to my stopping of lifting and lifting weights and stuff. Um, was because of that. Just I really wasn't how do you say envy of people who were physically dominant over me, because it's an egotistical thing, to be honest. It's like once you can get over that, you just don't really care. And again, like I started envying people who had actual like skills, who excelled in something. And for me, I've always like wanted to I've always wanted to do music for a while, like DJing kind of. But now that I was kind of introduced to producing and learned what producing was, I think I know. I don't think I know. That's what I prefer. Um, I don't know if I'll ever do DJing. Maybe in the future, if it like brings like if it helps me with like my economical financial side, I'll definitely do it, just so that I could support my just making music. Um, so like I think from 20, so I stopped lifting weights around 2015, and I was probably like 215 at the time. And I have pictures of how I looked, and I looked pretty. Oh, actually, let me open it up. I looked, which is funny because I found these pictures. Um, Found these pictures not too long ago on my mom's phone when I was fixing her phone because she had over 10,000 pictures, and I had to delete so many so her phone can function again. And I came across these old pictures that she took of me that I deleted on my own phone, so I didn't have them anymore. Um, and this was graduation day. Yeah, this was graduation day. So this is me, 215 pounds. I remember clearly because I weighed myself that day, and I look pretty. I'm fit, right? Like I don't think, especially because I'm 5'9". I think around anywhere between 5'8" and 5'10" is where I think my height varies, due to the shoes that you wear, etc. So I'm 215 pounds, and you can see a little definition in the shoulders and in the biceps, and then you can see the vascularity in my arm or whatever that's called, palm, the backside of the palm, and my face is pretty defined. And I don't know if that's like a threshold that I don't want to pass, going under 200 pounds, because I don't know if I'd look my face. I don't know if my face would look healthy if I went under 200 pounds. Like I don't want to look sucked up is the problem. And so like right now, I think right now I'm probably 257 pounds if I'm trying to be accurate, and that's from 280 pounds a couple weeks ago. No, it has to be a month ago at least. So this was 2015. I stopped lifting weights pretty much here, because I started working in the field, and I didn't really have an option to lift because it was out of town. So, and then the food that they were giving you, obviously Mexican food is not the healthiest, so you start getting fat. And then I got fat. And then I got pretty fat, like probably I probably gained all the way to 250 in a year. So in 2016, you know what? I think it took about 2 years to actually get up to 250. So for a while, I was probably like in limbo state. I was like 230, 240, and then bam, 2017, 2 years apart, I was probably like 275. So 2017, I was probably 275. all the way up to 2018. And in the summer of 2018, I went to my aunt again. Same place I was fucking delivered to go work again. But this time she was like a nutritionist, and she actually starved me. I'm pretty sure that's what it was that she was doing. But I lost weight, you know. And I did start running around that time. Not as much. I think one of the main reasons why I did lose weight was because, let me fucking turn this shit off already. Oh wait. Oh no. Oh fuck. Yeah, one of the main reasons I did lose weight was because the job was really intense. It was blueberry, organic blueberry. And the thing with the organic blueberries is that it's not seeded into the ground. They use these pots, and sometimes the fields get overflown. Long story short, I was sent there so that I could. We were basically moving the field, the location of the pots from like one field to like another field. I don't know, like half a quarter mile away to like a newer field where it wasn't like flooded, and the fields that we were moving them from, they were like destroyed because of the the water that was just flooding the ground. And so I lost about 20 pounds, and I went down to around 250 pounds. And then then after that, yeah, I went to school. I was taking one class. I remember it was just one class. This is 2018. One class. I met a girl, broke my heart. It didn't come to fruition. And then I got depressed, and I think I went back to up to 270, even though the goal was to lose weight, which is where I'm at right now. And I'm now currently a year away from that time where that whole depression thing hit. I was lost. I was trying to make her the answer to my problems, which is something you should never fucking do. And I've learned that the hard way, because like I said, if it doesn't come to fruition, you're gonna get psychologically destroyed. You're like dwindling from bedrock, and you hit bedrock when it's a no, and that's okay. Look, it was wrong on my part to try to make her the answer. It was also wrong, I believe, that I was trying to make her like me, even though I felt disgusted with myself, right? Like, why would you like? And it's very hypocritical, honestly. I feel like it's very hypocritical of me to have done that, because my thought process, like, you saw that picture of me in high school. I was a pretty good looking guy. I turned down at least 6 to 8 girls sophomore year alone. I think that's the peak of like when girls were interested in me, right? That was senior year. So sophomore year, it was like pretty much like that, just 20 pounds lighter. And I remember turning down like 8 girls. I can't really remember, but I remember I can name him, and then after I finish recording, then I'll remember some other girl. But the point is that I turned down 8 girls, and my thought process was, if I don't find this girl attractive, and if this girl doesn't even take care of herself as much as I do, why should why should she expect me to like her if she doesn't even take care of her body as well as I do? And I didn't look at it like that. I was on the other side when I fell for this girl in college, right? I was fat. I was 250 pounds. Granted, I don't look like most 250 pounders. I just look stockier. I just, you know what I mean? Because I worked out a lot. But granted, I was still fat, and you could tell that I was fat, just bulky fat. And so it didn't come to fruition. And I didn't understand, until after that I was being hypocritical. It's like, dude, you have to live by the same, principles. If you shouldn't be upset that she said pretty much no, when you asked her on a date, because you did the same shit to fucking 8 other girls in high school. So I think that thought process and thinking about it thoroughly has helped me get, well, I wouldn't say over it, but it has helped me accept the decision that she chose, which is okay. I understand it. And it's one of the reasons I'm still fucking now, like, I'm everything that I do, I grind so that I can just better myself as a person, so that shit doesn't happen again, because it fucks with you a lot, especially when you really fall for someone. And I honestly believe I did, because unlike any other girl previous to this girl that I met in college, I never really saw the future. And that's one of the things that I remember kind of like acknowledging, was that I was looking into the future a lot and thinking about, how would our future look like. Whereas like the girls that I fell for in high school, which was probably like 3 or 4, and they were crushes, and they felt minor, compared to whatever I felt for this other girl in college. it was always about the now. It was always about like social acceptance, where it was like, is this girl pretty enough for my friends to be like, damn, she's cute or she's hot, etc. This girl, it wasn't the same thing. I didn't give a shit about anyone else's opinion other than mine, right? So I felt more freer when it came to deciding a person that I wanted to experience life with or experience my youth with. Um, so there was less kind of expectations when it came to choosing someone, and I think that's why it kind of hit me because she wasn't exactly what I would say eye candy, right? Like I've turned down girls prettier than her, without trying to sound cocky, but that's why I think it hit me the hardest was because first of all, I don't think I've ever made myself vulnerable to someone, you know. So if you never make yourself vulnerable, I never made myself vulnerable into high school like the girls did to me, right? I never asked someone out. I never kind of showed a person how I felt about them, why I felt about them in the manner that I did. Which honestly, I still don't know why I felt about her the way that I did. I was talking to another a girl who's just a friend, mutual friend, on IG a couple nights ago, and we were talking about she was going through the same similar thing, with a guy, I guess, and one of the things I think that we talked about, fuck, if I'm trying to recall, was I'm losing train of thought here. It's fucking really hard to go on, but fuck, I'm forgetting. I was getting to a good point. Oh yeah, I was talking about how this girl was a little bit different with the whole thing about actually seeing into the future, trying to predict the future with this like an individual person. And I was talking about like I think you're really in love with someone, or you really have passionate feelings for someone when you see a future with them, where it's like in high school it's not about, it's more like you kind of objectify. I objectify at least girls more in high school, where it's like, is she beautiful, is she not, will she be accepted by my friends or not, or like the people around me, will people think, will they laugh at me, will they not. I don't That shit was not in the calculations when I thought about this girl. And I also talked about how like I really didn't have a say in when I decided to like fall for this girl. Whenever that happened, I don't know. I mean, I estimated it was about 3 weeks into like knowing her. Because I started having dreams about her. Why? I do not know why, but I just started having dreams about her. I just started having dreams about her. I don't know why the fuck I repeated that twice. Um, and I think the one that did it was a dream where I just saw her again. This was like this would be looking into the future, but just in a subconscious level. I saw her in a wedding dress. I don't know if I was marrying her or if I was just at a wedding, but I remember just being so happy looking at her in this like white or like super light blue dress with the veil on. And it fucks with you because when you fall for someone, you kind of start identifying your identity with them. Like you can't think about yourself without thinking about them, if that makes any sense. Or at least that's how I felt. Like I felt, I'm Jose and this is my partner, right? This is who it is. But when that doesn't come to fruition, you're destroyed. You're fucking ruined. And it's funny that I this is just the track that I start up here. Let me just go on a little tangent. This is where I start and I run this way. And like I never realized how fucked someone could get over just another person was, and I felt so bad for one of my mom's bosses, like one of her first bosses. He was like a family friend. He was a boss of her, but like we knew him through church, and so he was like a family friend. And around 2015, I would want to say 2015, 2016, somewhere in high school, maybe sophomore. No, it had to be later than that. Anywhere between the sophomore and like senior year, like they started kind of having a decline. Him and his wife, they're beautiful people, and I didn't understand until I fell for this girl in college, and looking at it in retrospect, I feel so bad for him. Like I can't believe what he went through. Like I just can't believe. Like it's horrible because he would, like my mom would talk about, times where she would have to drive him when he's like high off of his mind because he didn't know how to, um, how do you say, not compensate, but he didn't know how to um deal with this. I'm trying to fucking think another word. I hate when I do this. I get stuck on a word. He didn't, yeah, whatever. He didn't know how to deal with it, so he was just taking drugs or whatever. I'm pretty sure one of them was like a substitute for like Xanax. It was like a level below Xanax. I know this because fucking took one time and I felt pretty relaxed. I'm not a druggie. I don't know why I said that. But he was, getting high off of that stuff, which were depressants, not antidepressants. If someone who's listening to this, I'm assuming no one. If you don't know the difference between a depressant and an antidepressant is for depressed people. A depressant is for it's like a relaxer. It's anything based off of like an opium poppy flower. They're like not narcotics exactly, because I believe narcotics are a little bit stronger. That we're talking about, that's like morphine, heroin, stuff like that on that level. Xanax and the other stuff, they're just depressants. They're really strong depressants though. And he was getting high for this stuff because he didn't know how to deal with it. Cope. That's the fucking word, cope. He didn't know how to cope with it. So he was, getting high. And we're talking about a fucking ex-bishop, right? A bishop from the church. I'm not going to say what church, but he was a bishop. Their principles are super strict when it comes to, like, sometimes you can't even drink coffee. I don't know if they abide by that, but, like, that's one of the actual rules. And that's, like, I just remember a bit by Mitt Romney because he's, where like they were celebrating with milk because I guess that's like the level that they're at when it comes to taking stuff. Anyways, yeah, they can't even drink coffee, Pepsi, all that's like, I guess it's not considered good. I don't think people abide by it, at least not like not the radicals. Normal people just, they're like, whatever, dude, I'm not taking drugs, I'm good, I'm gonna drink coffee or Pepsi if I want to. That's like normal people. But there is people who I would assume try to follow everything, because in that religion there is like levels of heaven, different levels of heaven. Anyways, the point, the dude started taking stuff, and he was a fucking bishop. You know what I mean? And one time I found fucking Mike's Hard Lemonade in his garage, and I fucking drank it because I knew he wasn't gonna say anything. That was actually one of the first times I drank alcohol. It was funny because I think he knew. He's like, he kind of knew, but he's like, he can't do anything. But yeah, like, he got fucked up just by the breakup of, right, the love of his life. He had 2 kids with her. And, I'd never understood it until, again, like, I met that girl. And I don't even know where I'm going with this tangent, but it was fucked up. I mean, I was doing fucked up things, like little subliminal things, when I would go visit my mom, because at the time I was going to east, so it was probably like a couple blocks away. Maybe I was just gonna go to work and see her or whatever. I remember I had I don't know, my iPod or something, and I started playing Kings of Leon. Right, these guys kind of influenced my taste in like pop or like rock poppy music. So like Kings of Leon, because they took us a lot to as a kid, like probably around the age of 8 to like 13 or something. They took my mom and me a lot to the beach and we stayed in some hotels, and we just took care of the kids, or my mom did pretty much, and she just took me with her. So like a lot of the music that they listened to, it influenced me, because around that I didn't really like legitimately, I didn't really like listening to music until I was probably 11 or something. Like prior to that, I didn't understand it. I was retarded. Someone asked me, oh, what music? Like, what is music? Is what I would respond to. So like, listening to the music that they listen to, I'm pretty sure some of that music kind of influenced what I decided, other than Guitar Hero 3, because Guitar Hero 3 was actually when I started liking music, like legitimately liking music. So I got into rock first, and then I got from like hard rock, like hard classic rock, to just like 90s and alternative, like 90s and 2000s, early 2000s alternative rock. And we're talking about like Kings of Leon, Coldplay, like all these Kings of Leon, Coldplay, even like that pop singer, that singer songwriter that wrote that song for that monkey movie, the Monkey Kid Show movie, Curious George. He wrote the song Banana Pancakes. Jack Johnson, like him, like all these things were introduced to me. Obviously, initially there weren't like oh, I like them because you guys. It took a while, and then I realized like, oh, I kind of like this music. Why? Because it was the first time I ever experienced going, to the ocean. So it's like nostalgic stuff, Kings. And the point is, I went to the house and I sat down, and by this time I was already influenced by the music that they showed me throughout the years as a kid. And one of them was Kings of Leon, and I had that in my iPod. And he was talking to my mom about about her, because this was relatively new into the whole scandal of she met some guy at the gym. And then my aunt, which is closer to the wife, said that it was bullshit that he cheated first. I don't know what was true. But I remember just started playing Kings of Leon because he was kind of sad. And I remember he just looked at me and he said, oh, Kings of Leon, I like that song. But he didn't know I was doing that on purpose because he was sad. I don't know what the fuck my goal was, to make him sadder. But I remember just kind of finding it funny at the time, right? It's fucked up. But I just remember finding it funny. That he was getting affected by music, and I didn't understand that until now. Like, now after I experience what kind of like loss, like love losses or whatever, lost love lost, what it is, because you become vulnerable. You open yourself up to someone, and then anything as small as music can fuck you up. It's, I remember I was so sensitive that I had like, this was 2018 to, look, it's been a year and like 4 months since it happened, since it was pretty defined that it was a no, that she wasn't interested. I would say probably 3-4 months where it's like I'm kind of coping with it better. So it's been like a year, right? Where it's like I was super delicate with what I listened to. If I listened to some of that Jack Johnson shit, or some of that Coldplay, or any of that, anything nostalgic, even things from the 50s that I don't. Anyways, what is that deal about 50s music and being nostalgic when I'm not even from the 50s? That's a tangent. That's another topic. Whatever. But you get the point. Nostalgic music that makes me feel nostalgia, it's a no. It's a no go, because I would fucking start tearing up. Like I don't know what it was, but you know what I mean. Like, that's how strong how strong these emotions can get when you actually think you met, quote unquote, the one. Alexa, stop. I'm actually on a fucking good rant here. Alexa, stop it, please. Thank you. There we go. So I guess we're done with that whole rant about feelings and whatever. We got that out of my system. Whoever starts with this one, it's gonna be like, oh, is this what this podcast is about? No, this is actually supposed to be me roasting people in the city that they live in. That's really how this idea started, because when I would be bored, I would just get on here. The first one probably happened 2018. Again, most of this shit happened post process. These podcasts, I think I have the dates. I'm not sure. I mean, at least I have the dates when I posted them, because I have 2 other episodes where I posted them on YouTube, but they got how do you say, they got flagged for copyright because I had the music in the background. Hopefully this one doesn't get copyrighted, and if it does, fuck you, YouTube. You suck dick. I didn't really have any song other than that jazz song that was playing, which is fuck, but I don't know if it's gonna get copyrighted because it is by FKJ, I believe his name is. But it's like a freestyle, so hopefully it's like open. Yeah, so the whole idea of this was just like, I started, remember, like I would get bored and I would just go on here and I would just like go to a random city and just see stuff, and then if I saw something funny, I would just make fun of people who I thought lived there. That was the whole idea. But right now, I don't care. It's free for all. That's really what it is. You know what I want to do? What I wanted to do for a while was cross this river and then run all the way, not run, but just walk all the way out here, and then see if I could survive walking all the way into the sequoias, pretty much. Just following this trail right here. I'm pretty sure I'd get lost. I'd probably, instead of going like right here, like, oh yeah, take a left, I just fucking keep like this. I'd probably think this little creek right here is the left. But oh yeah, take a left, and I just end up here. I just fucking tumble down to my death. It's so hard. And there's houses up here. That's a crazy thing too. Ooh, the color correction on this other monitor looks way better. Looks so faded on the one that I'm on right now. Oof, maroon. Alexa, 30-minute timer.
30 minutes, starting now.
Thank you. We gotta finish this sometime. I don't care. I have to understand that this is just for me, and that whatever happens happens. I should just I need to think less of what I'm saying. You know what I mean? How I'm conveying something. Oopsie doopsie. Ooh, we're back at here. Oh yeah. Oh dude. Let me see if I can find it. The first time I also do photography. I don't know if you guys probably do if you fucking for some reason are listen to this far. Listen this far. You probably know that I do some photography. Okay, so this is like going to LA. Where is it at? Maybe it's prior to this. No, because this is a grapevine right here. And then last Lancaster, you go to the right, keep going, and then I think on the first left, you take a left, and there's 4 curves. I remember, there's 4 curves. There's 1, 2. Fillmore is the city that I'm looking for. Is this? That's the road. Why can't I see the cities? I need to have the display names on. Let me see if I can do the view. Toolbar, sidebar, view. Let me see view, sun, historical imagery. Nope. Grid. Nope. Let's go full screen. There we go. There we go. How do we compass tilt? No. How do I see? How do I see what the city is? Because actually I can't even see the cities. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, these are the roads. Let me see. Could I even see Bakersfield? Yeah, I can't. Okay, this. No, you can't. I'll be back in like 5 minutes. Let me go turn off this fucking cooler in the middle of fucking December. Oh yeah. I don't think I ever finished my thought on the running. So like, fuck. Damn, there's a lot of that I probably didn't finish. Let me see how I can cover most of this without getting too into it. So I stopped working out high school, and then I got fat, and then I was like, I gotta do something about this shit. So I started running, but then I didn't really run that well, and then my aunt kind of starved me, so then I lost 20 pounds. And then a girl said no to me, and then I gained back 20 pounds. So I was like 270, but to be honest, I went up to 280. And then in the last 4 weeks, I've lost like 20 pounds again. So hopefully this time I can get back on track and fucking lose all this weight so I could get my life together. Because honestly, I think it starts from that for me at least. Because like again, you have to understand that I, from high school, developed an identity that was the gym rat, and it's so weird. It's so weird to think of someone looking at me now and being like, wait, is that Jose, the fucking gym rat? Overweight, disgusting, you know what I mean? So that's why I'm like taking it seriously now. I'm actually like not eating as much and this has been in the last like month or two where I like started taking it seriously, and I've lost like a pretty good amount of weight. So I'm back on track, and I'm also doing it so that I don't, that shit doesn't with the girl doesn't happen again, because I'm pretty fucking sure it happened because I was disgusting looking. I mean, if we're being honest. And actually, that's one of the cool things about being fat that people don't really realize, is that when a girl says no to you and you're fat, there's always hope that if you lose the weight and get better looking, not even that she'll say yes, but that a future girl will not deny you for the same thing, for just being disgusting. But the thing that is harsh though, because there's the pros and cons to everything. The thing that is harsh though, when you are like relatively, fit, good looking, is that if a girl says no to you, brother, it's your personality that is fucked, and then you got to work on that. And I think that's way harder, to be honest, than like losing weight. Um, so yeah, that's one of the that's a funny take on it, because it is how I kind of used a lot of ammunition for fuel in high school. Was like when a girl like no girl ever broke my heart in high school. It was always self inflicted. I remember like always trying to like fall for a girl who was way over my league, and then kind of like not even attempting to talk to her, but somehow fooling myself like it would never be possible. And then I would get depressed, and then I would just go to the gym and just be a fucking gym rat. And that's why it lasted so long, right? And then it just got fucking pretty big, got pretty massive. Fuck. I'm pretty strong. But yeah, the thing that sucked about when you did get fit was that when a girl didn't acknowledge you, dude, it was like, wait, why is she not looking at me? Like, I've been working, I've gone to the gym to fucking I don't know how long, 4 years, and she hasn't paid. You know what I mean? So it's like silver lining to everything. Life is not black and white. It's complicated. But that is the only silver lining I found with being fat was, first of all, uh, there's hope there that you can better yourself and you feel accomplished when you do lose the weight. Because I've lost, I think, weight like 2 or 3 times, actually, back to back. Because when I was in senior year, I did gain. I went up to like 230, and then eventually, or 230, 240, and then eventually lost all the way back to 215, and then that's when I stopped lifting. It was it was a little bit more petty too. Why I gained weight. It wasn't exactly like just it was me being petty. One of the reasons why I lost weight. I mean, why I gained weight. I don't want to get into it, but I gained weight. But this one, I just fucking blew up to almost 300 pounds, and I'm working in it right now. But back onto the photography. God damn. Let me see. Fuck, this is pissing me. Oh, maybe the legend, scale legend. Can I reset this? All right, I'm just gonna start another day. All right, see you guys. It was fun talk.